So, it's finally June. It is time for E3 season to finally begin. In just about a week, we're going to be knees deep in all sorts of video game information. And about a month ago, I already made an E3 semi-predictions discussion speculation video, which feel free to check out if you want to, the card's in the corner. But since then, obviously, a month has passed. I've made like 8 different videos, and we know a little bit more about what there is to come. There's a little bit more context to go through. So I figured I would also throw my hat into the ring a second time and give my official, proper predictions with a little bit more information now on what I expect to see at E3 this year. Mostly going into Nintendo, but maybe I'll tweedle around in other places. Either way, I just wanted to talk about E3. It is the season after all, so even though this will be incredibly outdated in like 4 days when EA starts with their live streaming announcements and stuff, we're gonna go with this anyway, alright? And excuse my voice, I'm apparently still a little ill, I guess, from Brighton Fringe last weekend. Oh my god. So starting off, let's talk about the extra context around E3 this year. One of the big main things is PlayStation is outright skipping it, instead doing another technique to get their announcement out. Likely this is going to be the state of play thing they've been going on and all the trailers they've been releasing recently. Another thing that we're also getting this year is a lack of Reggie. This may mean that Doug Bowser is actually showing up and doing a talk, which will be nice, but either way, that is the major big changes of E3 this year to talk about. That's really all there is to mention that's actually interesting in all honesty, so let's just move on with the Nintendo stuff already, shall we? So first things first, what is the centerpiece game of Nintendo's E3 conference this year? Usually there's a giant play area around a certain video game theme. In the past it's been Super Mario Odyssey or Breath of the Wild, and this time I'm going to predict it to be Pokemon Sword and Shield. The main reason being, Nintendo does not do these hallways based off of games that have yet to be announced at E3. It'll be games that are already building hype and have just been announced fairly recently. And while Super Mario Maker 2 is a good contender, especially with the recent Super Mario Maker 2 Direct not too long ago, we have also got the Pokemon Sword and Shield Direct coming up soon, which will do very much the same thing. Plus, there was already the Pokemon Business Conference that everyone's been raving about, and there's like a bajillion new Pokemon games going round, so I think it lines up perfectly that Pokemon is on everyone's minds right now, and that's going to be the centerpiece little ornament thing around E3. The other things we know about Nintendo's actual events at E3 is there is going to be a Splatoon tournament and a Smash event. Likely we'll be seeing some Smash stuff, but I'll talk about that a little bit later on, so let's talk about some of the games we know Nintendo are somewhat working on. First things first, Bayonetta 3. We've seen a revealed trailer for the game way back in like the Game Awards in 2017, and not really much since then. And considering the fact that Nintendo clearly has a lot of other stuff built into it, I'm kinda doubtful that this game is going to be released this year. I expect it's going to be delayed, and we might not even see anything from Bayonetta 3. There's a chance we'll get maybe another teaser trailer, but honestly, I think it's going to be taking a back seat this year. Pokemon, obviously, as I've just said, had its giant direct going on, but I expect we'll maybe get another trailer. It depends how long the Pokemon Direct's going to be, but I imagine it's going to be fairly minimal, though it is still going to be the main stage thing, so it's very likely going to be mentioned. Luigi's Mansion, we know, is coming out at the end of this year, and it lines up historically with it being a Halloween-y, scary horror game. I think this is going to get a big piece of section in this E3 this year. It's going to get a giant trailer, all sorts of gameplay, and of course it's going to be shown off at the Nintendo Treehouse once the actual Direct is done. Link's Awakening is in a similar boat since we've only really seen a tiny little trailer, and honestly I just think we'll get another one. We know the gimmick, we know the game, it's just going to be more of that style. There's a chance it'll be a Treehouse thing, but honestly, I kinda don't feel it's needed. But Animal Crossing is certainly another case. This one is just not even any sort of gameplay, just a concept that's being made in a CGI animation. This is totally going to be a big thing at E3 this year. It's on all sorts of people's minds. When I made that video a month ago, half the comments were Pikmin 4, the other half were Animal Crossing. This is going to have a gigantic trailer, or at least a pretty big segment, and you're damn right it's going to show up at the Treehouse this year. I don't know if Doug Bowser's going to be playing it on his 3DS, that is not an option, but Reggie's not here, so no jokes can really work on that. Never mind, I shouldn't have tried to make that fit in. Astral Chain is one that I don't think too many people are interested in, but I figure it's probably going to get some Treehouse love. It might also get a small trailer. Nintendo's obviously going to try and push it out, but I don't think the fans are going to be that into it. Super Mario Maker 2 is another thing entirely, though there is the whole controversy that you can't actually play it online with your friends. I imagine it will have some presence at E3 too. We've seen loads and loads and loads of stuff from the recent Direct, so I figure it will probably just have another small trailer just to get it known to the people that haven't seen it already. And it's very likely we'll see some kind of treehouse event going on too with it. Fire Emblem is also a very big contender for a big old segment at Nintendo's Direct this year, mostly because the release date is pretty damn soon. I think this is also going to get a pretty big trailer. We got a big one last time, sure, but I think there's room for more, and there's going to be all sorts of treehouse coverage as well. Other things that aren't necessarily that big topic Nintendo first-party brand is Town, the unnamed announcement video game from Game Freak. I could see this being a little bit of a trailer, maybe getting even some treehouse gameplay footage, but at the very least, I think it's at least going to announce what its official name is. It might stick with Town, but at the moment it's just Town unconfirmed name or something like that. Another one that Nintendo is somewhat noticeable with is Daemon X Machina. I think we're going to get a trailer, but I also think we're just not going to care. Moving on to the Nindies, originally I was thinking that Cadence of Hyrule was going to get some DLC. Turns out the game's not even out yet. There were rumors that it was going to come out in May, but now we know that it's coming out this month. But only recently did we get even more of a gameplay trailery footage. But even then, I think we can still get an official trailer shown at E3 this year to really get people's interest into it. There's a chance it could get a treehouse treatment as well. It would be very welcome to me, because there could be all sorts of things there with the actual indie developer next to maybe Ayanuma or something. It would be a really nice crossover mini podcast interview scene I'd just love to see. It could be really wholesome. Now, Nintendo also has the monthly download videos and all sorts of games released there. They've just announced their recent download video archive of stuff, and I don't think it's really going to get covered at E3. There's a chance there's a glimmering one in there, but in all honesty, I think it's just you know, going to get passed over. Nintendo is also going into VR these days, and there's probably going to be some relevance to it. They did and recently do the Super Smash Bros. VR connection, but I also don't think it's that interesting. When I made a video on it fairly recently, audiences just weren't interested in seeing it. I came up with all sorts of ideas of how they could use different techniques of VR into their other games in more creative ways than just it being the main camera. And unless it's Pokemon Snap, I don't think anyone's gonna care, in all honesty. It just seems to be the theme. And Nintendo worked on the 3DS, and the 3DS is done. What a relief. We don't no longer have to worry about another Pikmin game that goes on the wrong console. So moving on to mobile coverage, there's actually 2 mobile games at the very least that are going in circulation right now. Obviously, the big main one is Mario Kart Tour. Recently, we had the closed beta with all sorts of leaked screenshots and gameplays, because, come on, it's the internet. And I think this is the perfect opportunity for it to be a proper, fully open thing. Maybe there'll be an open beta, but at the very least, we're probably going to get a proper official trailer, and probably a lot of treehouse coverage as well. It's exactly what they did with Pokemon Go back in the day. 2-3 years ago. There's also a new Pokemon mobile game, the Pokemon Masters game, and we've seen like a solid 12 seconds of gameplay, if you can call it that. I think this is mostly because it's just not ready. There's a chance that we'll see it at this E3, but honestly, if we do, I think it will just be a mini another teaser trailer at most. I just don't think it's ready to be seen yet. And last month I mentioned all sorts of different port ideas they could do from the Wii U or even the GameCube onto the Switch and 3DS, but honestly, I'm less convinced of it now. Nintendo's E3 does seem to be quite stacked considering they have giant Pokemon in Super Mario Maker 2 Directs right before it as well. I did previously say maybe 3D World, but it seems unlikely because it is another 3D Mario game. It's a pretty big deal. At the same time, 3D Mario Maker being ported over would be a nice fit considering it's a theme that appears in Super Mario Maker 2, so I don't know. Wonderful 101 was also one I briefly considered, and it's possible, but it's a bit of an underdog against all these giant titles, so I'm very much thinking no on that one. I was also thinking maybe Xenoblade Chronicles X. We're currently in a break between Xenoblade 1, 2, and DLC, and Xenoblade Chronicles X would be a nice way to get another rush of Xenoblade fans into the Switch and doing some more stuff there. As for Zelda HD, it sounds like the perfect formula to make some money and impress the fans, or at least make them a little bit more satisfied. I'm very hopeful we'll get at least one, but maybe they're really hopeful on sticking to Link's Awakening instead. I don't know. I'm hopeful, but I'm entirely not convinced yet. There will be no new Nintendo consoles announced, but I'm pretty sure that's confirmed anyway. I wouldn't be that interested in it anyway, most likely. And as for random games that Nintendo were probably making but haven't actually announced yet, obviously I'm still very much expecting the Tokyo Olympic Games to pop up. Come on, it's 2020 soon. It lines up way too nicely. Metroid Prime I thought of last month, and I thought maybe it would go to the 3DS because people wouldn't like that, and honestly, I just think it's not happening anymore. Pikmin 4? It's not gonna happen. Wink, wink, nudge, shiver. And another one that I really would quite like to see, and I'm kind of expecting it, is more Rabbids content. Last time I said maybe we'll get more Mario and Rabbids DLC. We did see Donkey Kong quite a while ago though, so I was suggesting maybe we'll get Zelda and Rabbids. It's still a leap, and I'm still gonna go for it. Ubisoft loves their IP now that they've got a connection to Mario. They're definitely gonna make a lot more of that. I'm expecting some new Rabbid thing coming soon. If not this year, maybe next year. And this next little section comes from the new information we've learned, as well as the comments that I got from the video I made last month. One of the big ones is Persona 5. We now know that Persona 5 The Royal is an extension of Persona 5, and it's not coming to the Switch. Instead, we're getting a Persona Muso game that nobody's very interested in, but we'll likely be seeing a mini little trailer from Nintendo themselves for something of that kind of coverage. Maybe it will connect to more of jokery Smash stuff, but again, get to Smash in a moment. We have since seen the Super Mario Maker 2 Direct, and that's probably mostly covered all there is to see at E3, hence why I think it'll be a trailer. The Pokemon Direct actually hasn't come out by the time I'm recording this, but it has also probably covered a good chunk of Pokemon stuff. So once again, I imagine it will be just another normal trailer for Pokemon coverage, or at least Sword and Shield coverage at E3. Another one though, that we have technically learned information about by not learning information about it, is A Hat in Time. We know that this game is being ported to the Switch, so I think that E3 is going to be the official trailer announcement reveal of how Hat in Time is going to look and play in Nintendo Switch. It's going to be packaged with one of the main DLCs of the game. I'm very excited for it. I haven't played the game and I would really like to. On the Switch, even better. And of course, finally, there's going to be some Super Smash Bros. Ultimate content. I'm imagining there's going to be two. There'll be something right in the middle of it, just like a normal Smash segment. Maybe they'll bring back some old modes. They'll bring back, I don't know, home run contest or target training if they haven't done that already. Something like that. It'll be an old mode coming back. I'd love for Subspace Emissary style story to come as a final DLC, but that's probably like next year or two if that's ever going to happen. Still, I think we'll get like a normal Smash in the middle, and then as everyone can probably predict, there's going to be a big old character one at the very end of it. Maybe it will link to being the Joker thing that I mentioned earlier. Maybe it'll end up being something entirely new. I have two major character predictions. I made actually two gigantic top 10 ideas for characters anyway, so I'm going to go with this at two different angles. I'm first going to go with the predictable fan favorite character that might be appearing in Smash, and then I'm going to go for my personal oddball would like to see obscure suggestion. If you've seen the two videos, you've probably heard of them both before, but we'll go with that anyway. Number one prediction is it will be Banjo and Kazooie. It makes perfect sense as a duck hunt duo kind of fighter. It's very iconic, it brings back a rare element, and it's something people would very much like to see. And it represents the collectible genre, so can't really say no there. As for my personal obscure surprising expectation we could maybe see, I say Chell from Valve's Portal 1 and 2. I almost said Portal 3, that's not a thing. This would be entirely brand new in a way that it's actually taking a character from Valve and Steam. Plus, having portals as an ability could be quite interesting to play with. It allows for a lot of mobility. You can use the companion cubes and the turrets in your moveset. There's a lot of different options. Maybe you make GLaDOS appear in the background to do some laser beam damage, or bringing in Neurotoxin, or, you know, there's a lot of options, and it'd be really interesting. Smash is all about bringing all of the most iconic characters together, and bringing someone from Portal and Valve would just be phenomenally surprising and pretty damn good, I would say. But that is pretty much my whole suggestions and more concrete predictions for what I expect to see at E3 and most of Nintendo as a whole this year. We learned more information than last month, and that's what I've decided to settle with now. I'm more than likely going to be very wrong in at least half of them, but either way, since I am now back home from Brighton Fringe after doing a little bit of performing with the Biscuit Barrel over the weekend, I will now be ready and set for a whole bunch of YouTube video gaming related work and E3, so chances are I will be live streaming most of the Nintendo conference stuff, or I guess it's more a direct than a conference, and I'll probably even be streaming Treehouse stuff, and as I'm watching that I'll probably be writing videos and being all frantic and crazy. I'll be trying to cover as much as I can, probably uploading every 3 or 4 days like normal, twice a week, and just bashing out as much as I can. So if you're interested, then do follow me on Twitch at DazzVideos, as well as my Twitter and my Patreon. But otherwise, I'm going to be making a lot of stuff, and I do hope you enjoy it, because hey, it's E3 season, so it's time, obviously. Also, I just wanted to say while I quickly start ending off this video here, thank you for 40,000 subscribers. It happened like in the last week, and it's just amazing. I was at like 24,000 like 6, 7, 8 months ago. Very quick improvement, and it's quite a shock to actually see such a big number. I feel like a more prominent YouTuber. Time to get to work and tire myself out over E3. Oh well, it's all part of the fun. Thank you very much for watching. Tell me what your predictions are. I'd love to see your ideas as well. I'll be probably coming back to check on everyone's predictions once E3 has actually announced their stuff. But otherwise, for now, my name's Daz. You didn't really care, and I'll see you in a bit. I'm not gonna get a break, am I? Just constantly running and running and running.